So our review is
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, all good.
Yes, sir. Sorry. So, so the question I was asking was, is there any instances you encountered some problems with some of the musicians you've worked with?
Have I encountered any problems with them?
Yeah, sure.
Um, no, I can't say that I encountered any problems. Um, one thing about being professional, um, you try to avoid problems because the thing is, like, when you're traveling with the artist or whatever, um, you don't want to bring any attention, like to that. So a part of being, you don't want to bring any attention to that artist in a negative way. So the thing is, if there is a problem or whatever the case may be, it's always de-escalated, you know, and so usually there isn't anything because, um, for one, just like, a lot of people, they don't have issues or anything. So to answer your question, no, I have not. Um, I have not encountered any issues
Yeah.
or problems yet.
Yes, sir.
I
So,
try to be a people person.
yeah, yes, sir. That's true. So, what's the importance of relationship in the life of musician? What's the importance of relationship in the life of musician?
The importance of leadership.
Yes, sir.
The importance of leadership, is very is very important because, um, being a musician, you're responsible for a lot of different things. Even if you're not the MD, when you're the musical director, you have responsibilities, of the band. But being a musician as well, you have the responsibility of playing your part. So leading by example. So, as a musician, a worshiping musician, when you're on stage, is your job. You're almost kind of acting as the praise and worship leader, because the thing is, when you're on stage, or you want to lead by example. So
Yeah.
if you want people to enjoy you, you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
If
Sure. That's true.
that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense.
Um, So the next question is, I think I always hear people saying, as a musician, you have to value relationships. Rela-
That facts.
Relationship. Yeah. So what's the importance of relationships for
Uh,
musicians?
well, for one, relationships, that's how you keep working. You work off of relationships.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if somebody needs like for me, I'm a bass player. So if
Yeah.
somebody needs a bass player or whatever, 9 times out of 10, your friends are going to be the one to reach out to you first. or say, oh, I know somebody, I know that. So it's very important to build relationships, because like I said, those are the ones who keep you working. And then you always want to uh, broaden your uh, your connections. You know, relationships build connections. Connections build relationships.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's very important for a working musician.
You say that's true. That's true. So is there any musicians? Are there musicians you look up to? Because
I
for
look
me,
up.
actually, yeah, for me, I always go to YouTube. So I don't even sleep. Yeah. So are there any musicians you look up to?
Yes, there are. So there are musicians that I look up to. I look up to Adam Blackstone. He's a musical director that I inspired. My brother, Morgan Turner. Uh,
Yeah.
Snoop.
I um, I think last year.
Yeah. Snoop. Snoop on bass. Alan Evans. Yeah, Snoop Alan Evans. Much respect. Justin Raines.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
And one of my really good friends that I respect a lot is my brother Tyrone Bell.
Yeah.
Tyrone Bell he's the musical director for the Walls Group for Brian Courtney Wilson. He's the musical director at the church that I play at. I'm one of the musical directors at the church too, as well as Lighthouse Church.
Yeah.
So Tyrone is the main MD. I'm one of the MDs at one of the other campuses,
Mm.
but I respect him a lot because, for one, and I admire him a lot. That he's a people person. He cares about relationship and the heart of the person before skill, before even the music part of it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, and that's my brother. I can pick up the phone and say, yo, everybody I named, I can actually pick up the phone and call. Well, I haven't got connected with Adam yet, but far as Snoop, Justin, um, Morgan, those are my brothers.
Yes, sir.
I can pick up the phone and call them, and they give me advice about different things. And that's just to name a few. There are many, many others that I respect and look up to.
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I think you had series of performances. So what are some of the performances you enjoyed?
Every
You have
time I pick up my bass, I enjoy.
eh
Yeah, I enjoy every performance.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All
everyone.
right.
Yeah, yeah, because I enjoy what I do. I love what I do.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's get into this. So how do you go around your tones?
How
Just
do I?
use your tone because you have a nice tone. Actually, you have a nice tone. Yeah. So
Thank
we
you, thank you.
your tone.
Um, well, how do I establish my tone? One of the things, and this might sound weird, but I play bass, but I don't use bass like
Yes.
in my tone. So one of the things is that I learned, and I learned when I was on tour in Italy. My first time being on tour in Italy, I was playing for my college choir, um, and I was playing for the choir, whatever, going to sound check. The engineer say, "You sound muddy." I said, "No, it sounds good." I was young, I didn't know. He said, "It sounds booming, real booming." And he said, I said, "No." He was like, "Come here, listen." So he had me step away from the amplifier
Yeah.
and from the speaker or whatever, and the tone that I was hearing up while I was standing close to the speaker was
Yeah.
totally different standing away from it.
Yeah.
So he explained to me that lows is the fastest traveling frequency. So what
Okay.
happens is, when you have lows on your bass, the lows shoots out faster than your mids and highs. And
Yeah.
so what happens is that's when a bass start to lose its tone. It sounds muddy. You can't really understand what's going on. So
Yes,
he
sir.
told me the trick is using low mids and having lows as a feel.
Yeah.
So, and basically that's just kind of the key to my tone is I don't use a lot of lows. I use low mids and I add the lows for feel. So, it's more about being clear, being heard, like understanding. So no matter how good you can play, if your tone is not there, your skill does not matter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
And so that's
That's
that's how I establish my tone.
yeah. Yes, sir. Sure. So, so can we get into the practice routine? So, how do you go about practicing during practice period?
It depends. Like I don't get a chance to practice as much as I like to,
Yeah.
because I'm always working on something.
Okay.
So, like for instance, there's a difference between practicing and learning music.
Yeah. That's
So like most of the time, I'm learning music for an event or
yeah.
whatever. I'm not necessarily practicing on bass, but when I do get a chance to practice, I'm playing scales. I'm doing finger exercises.
Yeah.
I'm doing speed exercises. Um,
Yeah.
like I am, kind of playing around with different tones for different sounds. I mean, different songs and things of that sort. So that's what the practicing side of it looks like.
So, yeah. So, for the practicing. So, do you have any hobbies apart from any other
Say
hobbies or
that
interests?
again.
Do you have any other hobbies or interests apart from doing music? Apart from music?
Oh, my other hobbies is enjoying my family. Like I like spending time with my wife and kids.
Yeah.
Um, I like relaxing. Um, I like traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like traveling. Um, I like to eat.
All right. All right. So, so let's get into the monetary aspect as a musician. So, I think most people think secular music actually pays more than gospel music. How true is it?
It depends on the gig because me playing gospel, or like right now, I play for like I said, it depends on the gig.
Yeah.
Toddulaney take care of his musicians. Brian Courtney
Yes, sir.
Wilson take care of his musicians. So now the thing is, it just it depends on the artist or the gig. There are like, of course, you have to think about it. Yes, there's a lot of people who believe in gospel music, right? And there's a lot of people who believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a whole lot of people who are, like who are not attracted to gospel music.
That's true.
So the thing is, and I say that to say that a lot of secular artists in secular venues have a bigger turnout
Mm-hmm.
than the gospel side.
Yeah.
So
True.
it just kind of depends because you get people like um let's like what's an artist I'm like Tank or somebody like that. They're packing out arenas or whatever. Like I'm talking about big stadiums type things, or like the Janet Jackson, they're packing out stadiums or whatever. But when it comes to the gospel side, it's hard to pack out a church.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just kind of depends. It depends. I can't say that you know secular pays more than gospel. I can't say gospel pays more than secular or whatever. But they do what they do in their own way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes
So
sense.
for like so yeah. I mean, I can play both. One of the things is I used to do when I first moved to Texas. I did a lot
Yeah.
of club gigs. Like um, I was on the gig scene. But the thing is, me, it started, my reasoning for being in Texas was because of the church that I was working at the time. So yes, I can do a gig that night before, but it will cause me to be sleepy on my main gig, my main church gig. And I'm just like, man, I can't do this because my church gig pays more than what I was making for these, little club gigs. And I'm just like, okay, does this make sense or whatever? So I just kind of stopped doing those or whatever, like, and then on the club gig or whatever, I'm playing like 40 songs. On the church gig, I might be playing 3 songs, So it just kind of depends or whatever, it just depends on the situation.
That's true. So you being a gospel musician, what's the importance of spirituality as a gospel musician? What's the importance of spirituality?
It's very important. Yeah, it's very important because especially it also depends on the artist that you're playing for. Like with me playing for Todd, this man lives and sleeps with a Bible. He's like the Bible. He picks up the Bible on stage and sings out the Bible. So the thing is, our spirituality has to be to a point where it matches his, so we can accompany him. Like a lot of times we don't know what's about to happen. We are creating things on stage, but our spirituality, like we have to be able to tap in to that realm of the spirit or the realm of God, so we can be on the same page and we create the song. That's how No Weapon got made. We was in I want to say we were in either London or Canada, and he picked up the Bible and started reading. He started singing what's out the Bible, and like the keyboard player, I think it was Stephen Bruton was with us at that time. He was with us on that gig, Stephen Bruton, and he started playing, along with Todd. Then the band, man, we had to tap in and go, So the spirituality part of it is very important, and I will say this: it also depends on the actual artist, because sometimes, like, and I want to be careful how I say this, on some gigs, they just want to do the show. It's just all about doing the set. Let's get through this, and that's it. But I'm grateful and blessed with the opportunity that even with Brian Courtney Wilson, a lot of times we have moments where it's just flowing. He's letting God work. Letting the Spirit, let the Holy Ghost, do what they need to do. But I've played for artists where it's just, all right, we push play on the tracks and we playing it straight through, and that's it. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. The reason why I asked this question is because most musicians think about it, most gospel musicians they just think about gospel music to be practicing. They don't actually take the spiritual aspect into consideration. Yeah. So let's get into it. That's the reason I asked the question. That's true.
Yep.
So there is this question I want to ask. Mostly it's brothers as musicians. So what do you have to look into when you want to choose a life partner?
Man, it is very important to ask the question one more time. Let me make sure I understand it.
What are some of the things you have to look at when you want to choose a life partner? Because
choosing the right partner.
Relationships and the ladies will be saying, "Oh, you're not giving me this attention. You're not giving me this. You're not giving me this." Yeah, because mostly you're busy on gigs and yeah. So what
Yeah.
are the kind of things into when you are choosing life partner?
So one of the things that you have to look into is first, I would say you must seek God. You know, seek God and ask God to send you the right one who understands what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so like my wife, and actually I'm gonna get her. Hold on. Babe, babe, come here. So my wife understands the assignment that and she understands the anointing and what my assignment here. Obviously, she understands what my role is. You know, and hey, beautiful. Here, I'm gonna take my headphones out so she can hear you. All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yes. So, I first off, I pray to God and I ask God, like, you know, God, this is what I want in a wife. This is what I'm looking for. You know, I need someone who understands what I do and someone who's not going to hinder me from doing
Yeah,
what God calls me to do.
yeah, that's true.
Um, and so that's one of the things because you gotta have someone to trust, someone to push you, to support you. You know, someone you don't have to worry about anything. You know, like while you gone. You know, and I am blessed, and I am so grateful. Y'all see the sign on the wall back there, like the blanket. So that was a gift to me from her. You
Okay.
know, and on the bottom it says, "I believe in you," and it has a scripture, Jeremiah 29:11.
Okay. Yeah.
So that right there, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's the one.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and what's up, man? Um, but yeah, so they have to make sure that the key point to when you're looking for someone, a life partner,
Yeah.
you have to make sure that they understand the assignment.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. Y'all are beautiful. I think. Yeah, I think.
Huh? I can't hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Hold on.
All right.
Let's do this. Put this here.
Hello?
All right. Let's see if this works.
All right.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Can you hear? All right.
So,
Cool. Do you have any questions for her?
yeah, actually. Yeah. So, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
How are you?
Please, your name.
He said, "What is your name?"
My name? I am Sarah.
Okay. Nice. All right. Such a beautiful name. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, so how are you in as being a wife of a musician? How are you coping?
How am I coping? Day by day. It's a day by day process. I would say that no day is the same because his schedule is all over the place. And then on top of having kiddos, our oldest daughter is autistic. So balancing her therapy schedule, his rehearsal schedules, and traveling, on top of being 9 months pregnant currently, it can be hectic, but grace of God is carrying us through. So
actually, yeah, that's good. So actually, mostly, I think sometimes as a musician, you go out, you come back, then wife will be giving you attitudes, yeah, stuff. But I think for you, you are different. Yeah, what I'm hearing, I think you are different. Yeah, and God bless you for that. Actually, God bless you for that.
thank you.
Such a nice person. So so the next question is, how do you two get along spiritually?
How do we get along spiritually? Um, well, here's the thing. We push each other spiritually. We try to how we do marriage by principles laid out in the Bible. It's not easy. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of understanding. And sometimes that only comes through prayer because life is so hectic and busy all the time. It's easy to be misunderstood. It's easy for intentions to be misconstrued. It's easy, just for the enemy to come in, is that him? Cancel. There you go.
Okay.
That's all right.
From where we ended.
What's the last thing you heard me say?
Yeah,
You didn't hear anything.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so we model our house after the principles of laid out in the Bible. It takes a lot of prayer. It takes a lot of understanding because it's easy for intention to be misconstrued in the way of lack of communication. When there's lack of communication, when there's not unity in the household, when you have a very you go your way, I go my way type marriage, it creates spaces for the enemy to creep in and bring division. And one of the main things that I love about our marriage is that we heavily communicate and we are heavily committed to one another, and I want to see his dreams and his ambitions come to life just as much as he wants to see mine. So having a partner that pushes you in the things of God, and then with your personal goals and views and visions for yourself, that's all monumental. And communicate, like I said, I will never get off communication because you need communication before you jump into marriage to make sure that everything is aligning. Does your life fit with what I want? Does my life fit with what you want, need, and stuff of that nature? So prayer, communication, and just trusting God through the process, because every day is not sunshine. There are some days where we are having to work through some stuff, but God is good, and we're still here after almost 5 years of marriage, and yeah, making it do what it do.
That's great. That's great. You have a beautiful and you have a great life. I think you have a great life.
Yes,
I wish to
I
have.
have the best wife. Yes, I can't ask for better.
Yeah. Okay. God bless you. God bless you both for being here today.
Thank
God bless you. And
you.
I think we are here. I don't take most of the time. So yeah. God bless you.
No,
It's great to have you here today. You and your great wife.
yes, I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
God
Thank
bless you.
you.
So
So,
we have to make
was I able to? Huh?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Say,
sir.
say it again.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Hello.
did I answer all your questions or anything? Anybody got any questions?
I think
Um,
I oh yeah, I don't have my questions yet. I think I'm done.
you think you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the last
Okay. All right.
the last, the last thing, uh, you have to. Is there any advice you'd want to give to us, the young musicians out there? Is there any advice?
Yes. Always be respectful and always be, in the words of Morgan Turner, be fit for the gig.
Yeah.
You have to know what your assignment is when you agree to do a certain gig. For instance, like me, when I'm playing with Toddulaney, I can play, I can be as busy or I can be open, I can be free.
Yeah.
Thanks, baby. But when I'm playing for Brian Courtney Wilson, I can't take that same approach with Brian as I do playing for Todd.
Yes, sir.
And the thing is, it does not take it away from my skill. I just have to do what's required of. And the thing is, when the MD tells me something, that they want or whatever, like it's my job to give it to them to make it happen
Yes.
without getting upset,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, sir.
So that's that's what I would say, like be be approachable.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
there's enough work for everybody or whatever. Be yourself. Be
Yeah.
yourself.
Sure. Sir.
Yeah.
God bless. Yeah.
And far as for bass players, go get a Lakeland. Go get a Lakeland. Go get
Yeah.
a Lakeland.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. So God bless you for being here today. We actually appreciate, and I think we have to do this another time.
Yeah,
So
let's do it.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's
Have a
do it.
great.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. God bless you too.
God
All right.
bless
Is
you. All
DM
right.
trying to your DM right now.
Huh?
All right. God bless you.